How many? How many? How many? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. What did I get up to?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new episode of How Many, the only podcast on the internet that counts. I am one of your hosts, Jesse Jackson. Joining me today is Gary.
How you doing?
Bob.
Hi.
Junior.
Hello.
And Scott.
Hey.
So we are a podcast that is all about pop culture and counting, and I believe Scott has a topic for us this week.
I was thinking one day while listening to the radio and probably having a discussion with my son about how many really good American bands there are, and what is going to classify as an American band as opposed to a hybrid or a band that people think is from America, but it's really from someplace else. Just started surfing websites. I was able to compile almost 100 different bands that I felt, okay, these are worthy of greatest American bands. And I got to 95. I think there's probably a few on here that are going to cause a little bit of discussion, which is always good because we love to discuss things.
Now, that is an
It is a
extensive
sport,
list,
exactly.
Scott. And according to Grand Funk, there is only one American band.
American man.
Isn't that right, Bob?
Yep, they're coming to your town to help you party down.
So I have a couple clarifying questions, and I'm sure others will too. Are we including like Motown bands?
I didn't try to keep them out. I found 3 or 4 lists and I went through there and compiled all those and then went back and took out the ones that were the same or ones that I clearly looked at and went, that's not American. I specifically went to rock bands. Looking through it, I do see a resounding absence of R&B.
Does it have to be predominantly American?
I tried to go all original members are American.
So our number we start with is 95.
Bob, of those 95 on Scott's list, plus whatever honorable mentions we can think of, what is the number that you're thinking that we will count?
26.
Jesse, how about you?
42.
All right, I'll go next, 50.
Gary?
30.
And Scott, what about you?
I'll say 53. So we'll start off the bidding with CCR.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, CCR probably 15,
At
10 to
least.
15.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't disagree that I think CCR belongs, but the fact that you guys all jumped the gate as fast as you could to say yes tells me that this bar is a lot lower than I thought it was.
So next one is the Eagles.
Yes, even though the Eagles are overrated, they belong on this list.
Yeah, you'd have to count them.
They were from my high school era, absolutely.
Yes.
The Doors.
No.
Yeah. Whoa!
No.
See?
No.
Jesse,
See,
you
the
hate
Doors
the
don't-
Doors?
The Doors suck.
This sucks. This sucks. This sucks.
The
Whoa!
Doors do not get my vote
The,
either.
the doors are very
Shock
polarizing.
value.
Come on, Jesse.
They've had a few well-known songs, but they aren't good songs.
They've got like at least 10. Cumpy's going to be
Oh.
raged up
Now,
about
yeah,
this.
he is.
No,
I'd
I
say
do.
one.
I love the Doors, but I would not count them in like greatest American band.
Why? Is it because some of them are not American?
No, because there's many, many, many bands that are better than they are.
There's
Boy,
a ton of bands better than them. See, I wouldn't give the Doors my vote.
Wow, that's a glaring omission. So we're saying no to the Doors. I think I'm the only one that voted yes.
The Beach Boys.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, you're talking about an icon of Jesse's youth.
Short of Motown, they were the biggest American band in the 60s.
They certainly were, even for me and growing up, even to carry over into the 70s of their iconic status.
Yeah.
I already knew about that even when I was a kid.
Van Halen.
Yes.
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 Yes, absolutely.
Aerosmith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like the Doors to me. They're good. I enjoy them. They're just not at the level of great.
Sorry. They're one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
I-
Although
I-
I like 80s Aerosmith more than like 70s Aerosmith, but
What?
they count.
Terrible.
Yeah,
70s or GTFO.
Yeah, Walk This Way, Toys in the Attic.
You can't argue that their longevity. I mean, like there are only a couple of bands that can even approach their longevity. You have to talk about the Rolling Stones, and they don't even put out new stuff. Aerosmith was putting out new stuff just a few years ago.
I would count them.
I'm giving them a yes. Okay. The funny named band Leinard Skynard.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
Was their run long enough?
I mean, Skinner is like one of the two bands that invented Southern rock, so you got to count them.
Yeah.
I will reluctantly say yes.
I will, because I picked a high number. No. This is not one of my favorites, but I acknowledge. I remember when the plane crashed. I was in college. I mean, it is an icon of a Southern rock. So yeah.
Tom Petty and the Heartbreaker.
Yes, probably number one.
Whoa. I don't know about number one.
I said
I think they could be in the discussion.
Top 5, I could see that.
Yeah.
I don't know about number one.
Definitely on this list. I'm not knocking them off this list. They are not even sniffing number one.
Dang it.
Nirvana.
No.
When I was running the music store in my early to mid 20s is when they were huge. It's not enough, man.
Yeah.
I love Nirvana, but it's not enough.
They didn't have a long enough run, but from
Impact.
what they did for the grunge movement and for just rock in general, you almost need to count them. But for this list, I'm going to say no.
I don't.
Yeah,
I'll say no.
I'm going to say no too.
Because they were so influential.
I can easily turn to Alice in Chains and a lot of other bands that came out of that same area at the same time. If it wasn't Nirvana, there were plenty of others.
To me, they all kind of had same sound. Metallica.
Yes, that may be number one.
Another massive catalog with a very nice longevity.
Right.
Yeah, and they are pushing number one.
Still pushing out a ton of stuff.
I would definitely count them.
Yeah, not in my wheelhouse, but I certainly can't disagree. When you hear the name, you immediately, think of that.
Let's not stop believing and talk about Journey.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's
Boy.
a close one. That's a really close one.
Yeah,
Too
that's
many
the one that
iconic songs to leave them out.
There is a lot.
Although they
of
replaced their
iconic-
lead singer with Arnell.
Massive band of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you have to count. If you count it, they're like on the Aerosmith level. If we count
I'm going to
Aerosmith,
say this right now. They're not on Aerosmith's level. You're going to have people turn off the podcast right now if we count Journey and we didn't count the Doors.
Well, that's a good point.
Journey's better than the Doors, but they should both probably have counted.
I
Journey
mean,
had way more hits than the Doors.
That's true.
Yeah.
Way more radio play.
I think the thing that elevates the Doors is their frontman is so iconic. I mean,
Yes.
frontman.
people don't just think about the Doors; they think about Jim Morrison and what a
Right.
nutbag he was.
Yeah.
He didn't
in
make a
his
movie
early
about
death.
Steve
That's a
Perry.
lot more to the mystique of the Doors than just
Right.
their music.
Well, I would say
What
yes
are we?
for
Thumbs
Journey.
up, thumbs down?
Yeah, I would say yes
Yeah,
for Journey too.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
I say yes. I'm just saying we're going to cause the
No,
riot.
I
because
We're gonna
get
get
that.
phone calls.
Journey, yes. Doors, no.
That little old band from Texas, ZZ Top.
Gotta
Yeah.
vote the Familia in.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think especially being here in Texas, they are iconic.
Only because they're related to Hank Hill.
You see, Bobby, I have a cousin named Dusty. He's the one with the beard. The one on the left.
We're related to ZZ Top.
Not so loud.
Okay.
They're related to me.
It's kind of like the Doors with me. I love them. They're great, but greatest American band? They're not in the.
We're
They're
not
not in the mix,
voting
man.
one spot.
See, I would be
Well-
thinking that if you're talking American
They
band,
wouldn't crack the top 20. I don't think on my.
see, I
list.
think they're a definitive description of an American band.
I
think
agree. Very
I would use
American.
them
I agree. You put in Leonard Skinner because you talked about Southern rock. What do you think these guys were?
Yeah.
Not only that, ZZ Top had a much longer run
Yeah, they're
than
not
Leonard
in-
Skinner did.
They're another one, and their sound was very different too. Like you listen to the iterations of them in the '70s versus the late '80s and the '90s, and they changed a lot, but
Yeah.
stayed relevant.
Plus, the car's cool. You can't turn on the car.
I did have that keychain.
All right, so yes to ZZ
Yes.
Top, right?
Yes,
Okay.
easy.
Pearl Jam.
A reluctant
Another
yes.
Nirvana.
I think they have more runtime than Nirvana, obviously, because their lead singer's still alive.
Because the lead singer didn't marry a psychotic woman that murdered him.
So Pearl Jam has their own channel on Sirius XM, so that's a plus. Eddie Vedder is a huge Springsteen fan, so that's why he would get my. I'm just telling you.
We don't want Corby to rage up at us. Although Corby will be mad at us already for not including the Doors.
Yes.
But he will really turn on us if we don't include Pearl Jam.
Like he listens.
This is how I sing.
I am thumbs down on Pearl Jam being on the list.
I'm not a fan either, and to me, they're another Nirvana. I mean, I know that they put out more because their frontman didn't get his head blown off.
They're good, but I wouldn't say they're great.
Yeah, I like them, but they're not top level.
Glaring omission. All right, okay. I guess they're out.
Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band.
Well,
I'm going to say yes,
but
only
I'm not
for that
shy.
great saxophone part. At the beginning
Alto
of
reed.
Turn the page.
Dang it. I'm a huge Bob Seger fan.
Well, I think, though, the iconic of his hits, Detroit, in his own way, Bob Seger is an icon. I would include that. I will tell you, part of my thing is, can I think of a couple of songs right away on him? I would vote for Seger.
If you think of Risky Business, the first thing that comes to mind is Tom Cruise sliding into the ring with the opening part of that song, that Bob Seger song playing.
Bob, I don't think I remember how that song goes. Can you remind me?
Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them. Just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them by myself. Sound like Cosby.
Yeah.
Take those records off the shelf and sit by yourself in the pudding pop.
I love Rambling Gambling Man.
Beautiful Loser,
Yeah.
I'm going to say yes, if only for Shakedown, which is their best song.
Shake down, break down, take down. Everybody wants into the crowd alive. Break down, take down. You're busted.
Night Moves or GTFO.
Okay, so are y'all thumbs up on that? I'm
We are
saying
thumbs
no.
up.
I'm gonna
I
say
say
yes.
yes.
I'll
Okay.
say yes.
Santana. I went and looked it up today. Carlos Santana was born in Mexico. And I didn't even think
Is the
about that. until
band
today.
predominantly American?
Yeah, it was
know?
all Journey. Journey poached Santana's band.
But if the main guy was not from here, he'll make the greatest bands of Mexico, but not.
Even if Santana was American, he didn't have enough hits.
I guess the band itself, probably not. But if you counted all of Carlos Santana's work with other musicians. I would say no too.
I would say no.
I'm not going to argue. Heart.
Boy.
I can't say yes to Heart with some of the stuff that we've said no to already, but I like Heart.
I would
And-
actually give them a yes, but I like 80s Heart more than I like 70s
You
Heart.
like all the worst eras of
Yes. Dude.
Just like his comedy, whatever makes everybody else cringe, Junior's all.
I think Ann and Nancy are amazing, but I'm going to say no.
Wow, so no to Heart.
No heart, no heart.
Yeah.
How many has no heart?
We can't find the Ranger's heart.
The Allman Brothers.
Yes, Skinner
they-
and Allman Brothers are a package deal.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I will tell you, I just this weekend, and it's available, I think, on Hulu, Jimmy Carter, the rock and roll president, just how much he loved music and all kinds of music and how much they had it at the White House. And the Allman Brothers and Jimmy Buffett and Charlie Daniels were a big part of fundraising. So for that, I'm going to say yes for the Allman Brothers.
Bob,
Okay.
do you have a fake Jimmy Carter you can regale us with?
Junior, no, I don't. I do not have a fake Jimmy Carter. It's very, very distant from the past.
All right, so we're saying yes to the
All
Allman
right,
Brothers,
Yes.
Yes to Allman Brothers. Guns N' Roses.
Gary would have a Cumby-like reaction if
Yes,
we
he
were to
would.
exclude Guns N' Roses.
Watch Gary's head explode.
Yeah, I fear the rage up too much to vote down GNR.
The Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No, 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 no.
I'm with you, Bob.
Never, never, never.
No, 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 never, 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 no, never.
I don't think so.
Why are you going to rage up Shoopy like that?
If it was pepper theft, we'd have a discussion.
I don't hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers, but I wouldn't count them.
They've only got one song.
Yeah,
Every
well,
one of
I
them
mean,
sounds
they've
the
got a
same.
couple more than that, but it's not enough. It's not even almost enough.
No.
They have like six
They're those
good
bands that were
songs.
so big
Yeah.
at their peak that people went back and like started pretending after Under the Bridge came out that they were big fans when it was Running Brave and things like that. But then they listened to it and they're like, I didn't really like that much. But then they get really big, and so I liked them. They had a couple of songs.
Boston.
No.
Not long
No, I
enough
don't
of a
think
run.
long
albums.
enough. Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
All right,
more
that's-
than a feeling that they aren't going to make it.
Kansas.
Lay your weary head to rest. Don't you cry no more.
No.
No.
Dust in the wind. They're just dust in the wind. No. Carry on, my wayward son.
And
Grateful
Jesus
Dead.
was just
No Grateful Dead.
Now you're really raging up Corby, but no.
yeah, no
Boy,
Grateful
that
Dead.
is, it's not a band I'm a fan of, but that is a long, weird journey.
See, now when we talked about longevity with some of those other bands,
Yeah.
they certainly have that, but I don't think they have the hits to go with it. Like it's just, they're a freak show that people want to travel around and follow, but not because their music is so amazing. It's just,
Okay.
it's a thing.
What do they have? Like 5, maybe?
Maybe.
I couldn't name their songs. I couldn't
Touch
name
of
5
Grey?
songs.
Touch of Grey, yeah,
Yeah,
where they're all
Seconds.
skeletons.
Because
Yeah.
that's probably their biggest commercial success.
I think so, yeah.
You got Truckin',
I've learned more of their
Casey
music by listening
Jones.
to other people. I don't know about this one. I'm not sure I'm familiar with it. It's Bruce Spring
Springsteen.
All right.
Yeah, never,
Estrid band.
Never heard
I
of
don't
them.
know. You guys know this?
I was wondering if you guys were going to include the E Street Band. So, yes.
Are you telling me all 26 members of the E Street Band? We didn't outsource any of that. No Canadians.
The core group of E Street Band are all American.
Nobody said
they're
core
all-
group. All
Yeah.
26.
Well, there's only normally like 11 when they tour. So yes.
There's 11 people in the horn section.
Well, they don't always have a horn section when they tour.
Except for the Sopranos guy. He's probably from Sicily or something,
Oh,
right?
yeah, I guess so. Yes.
Jesse, he's from Lilyhammer, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I'm giving them a yes.
All right.
You kind of have
Yeah,
to.
they're a yes.
All right. All right.
Reluctant, yes.
All right.
The Ramones.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Boy,
No.
I'm going to
I love the Ramones, but no.
Fan, but no.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
like
gonna
them,
fight
but
them.
no.
Boy, that's
I'm not going to fight them.
They have like
Oh.
5.
High school, but no.
Hey,
Yeah.
ho, say no.
I know Jesse's a no on them. So.
yeah.
Chicago.
I would say yes to Chicago. Only for the Peter Cetera songs.
Man, when I was in high school, I loved Chicago's Greatest Hits on my 8-track. They toured with the Beach Boys one summer, and that was a great show to see them because they ended up, one open for the other, and then they all showed up for the end. I vote just out of sentimental but if someone said no, I don't know if I could defend it.
I would vote yes.
I hear you, Jesse, because I'm with you with almost the exact same thing. The first concert I ever went to was Willie Nelson when I was like 6. But the first one I went to without parents was Chicago. That's the first concert I
What about
went
the
to
Air Supply concert that you told us you went to by yourself?
That was all part of the same thing. That was this, I don't know if you remember this, but Six Flags did a summer concert series. For $5, you could go to the concert. We saw Air Supply, we saw Chicago, we saw a bunch of bands. Those were the ones that I went to with my teenage sisters. I did get to go without parents. Yeah, so Chicago, I would probably say no just because I know they don't belong. But like Jesse, sentimental vote, knowing that we're losing 3-2, we can just say yes.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
I was going to say no.
Brought out
Chicago
gracefully
myself.
after the 70s, I'd count them. But because they stuck us with all that 80s crap that Junior was posting on us.
Yeah, the 80s stuff is what gets them
about
in.
that 80s crap sometime offline because I'm not putting it on audio.
Does anyone really know what time it is or what the count is? Is it 25
I think it's 25 or
25 to 6 to 4.
Well, let's move on to Saturday in the
good
park.
karaoke. Let's hear a little bit more of that, Jesse.
Now I can't do it. As time goes by, I realize
just what you mean to me. And now that you're near.
That song always sounded like somebody learning how to play the piano.
Oh, I love that.
It's like they're playing chopsticks.
As time goes by, I realize just what you mean to me.
And now that you're near. That's a great song.
That is a great song.
All right, so Chicago's a yes, right?
Not for me.
Did we?
Not for me.
Jesse said yes. Gary said yes for sentimental reasons, and I said yes. That's
Gary shook his head no.
No, Gary said yes.
Well, I said yes because I thought it was going to be 3-2. I didn't know Junior was going to jump ship.
No, I'm a big yes. I love Chicago.
So Gary, are you going to switch your vote?
Me and
I have
Bob
to say
no.
no, they don't belong. Come on, we didn't put the doors in.
Oh, the doors suck.
Dang it.
Let's see them
So
the
much
door.
doors be smirching.
Yeah, it's a no on Chicago there.
Okay, so no on Chicago.
So tonight is the night Chicago died.
The night Chicago died.
Yes.
I do have that on 45 though. Prince and the Revolution.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Although he didn't have that much work done with the Revolution because he went solo pretty quick, I thought.
He did.
But that's the same thing like saying the E Street Band. I mean, it is Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. I mean, it is the
Revolution got kicked to the side pretty early in Prince's career, I thought. The doctor guy with the scrubs didn't stick around on the keyboards for very long. I'm still a yes, but
Prince and whoever.
just Prince and whoever he was joined with.
Foo Fighters.
Yes.
Foo Fighters.
Ladies and gentlemen, Foo Fighters.
I would
belong-
put Foo Fighters on there. Foo Fighters has done more than Nirvana.
Yes, they've done more than Nirvana and they've done more than Pearl Jam.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go with
I
it.
agree.
They're overrated, but I'll say yes.
Dang it.
You're overrated.
REM.
Yes, I'm going to use an exemption. Absolutely.
I was going to say no, but Bob's already
Boy,
C-blocked
Bob's
us.
going to
with an
lose his
exemption.
religion if we
REM is top 5 American band.
They'll be lucky to
If you
scratch top
believe
30.
in a man in the moon. I'll go yes.
We'll give you an exemption on that. Okay.
I mean, but without the exemption, are you guys out on REM?
Oh, yeah. We were
I would have
I'd
said
be
no.
on the fence.
exemption. You're done for the day. That's it.
I would have been on the fence with REM.
They have maybe 6. Maybe
Dude,
6.
6? Come on, man.
Prove me wrong.
Stand in the place where you live.
What?
Gary, there's more than 6, right?
That's another. We'll do that another night.
Stand.
Totally different conversation. A band that I am not a fan of, really, Jefferson Airplane.
Are we counting all of the other iterations?
The Starship as well.
I didn't say Starship. I said Jefferson Airplane. Starship doesn't even belong on the list.
They didn't have a
top
long
9.
enough run as Jefferson Airplane.
Well, you have Jefferson Airplane, then you have Jefferson Starship, then you have
Just
just
got through
Starship.
Then you just have Starship.
Well, let's go ask Alice, and I
got
think
your
she
A
would say no.
I'm pretty sure that's a no.
America.
No.
I went to the desert on a horse with no name.
ICA, I'd say yes.
Good to be out of the rain. I went to the desert on a horse with no name. Good to be out of the rain.
America. I'm
Yeah.
using my exemption on
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Kind of
Okay.
funny though that they were all brats. They were military brats, so they actually
Yeah.
started, overseas. But yeah, all American, definitely.
The Doobie Brothers.
Yes.
Yes, but only the Michael McDonald era.
You don't know me, but I'm your brother.
Oh,
Version of them.
I like both eras.
What a fool believes. Go for it. Yes.
They were on What's Happening.
yes, I remember that so badly.
Hello there. The Doobie Brothers room, please. And I'll speak with any doobie who do be in.
Hello there. I be Roger Thomas. Which doobie you be?
I would say yes to the Doobie Brothers. Is everybody a yes?
I agree.
I'm a yes on the Doobie Brothers. The Birds.
Ooh.
Well, let's see. Turn. I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I say no. They're good,
Yeah.
but no.
Not a long
Okay.
enough
We're
run.
measuring greatness. If it's not an instant yes, it feels like it ought to be a no.
Yeah,
I agree.
I'm kind of there with you, man.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
It's either a hit out of the park or it's not.
If we were saying greatest American bands of the 60s, I'd count them.
Soundgarden.
Harry's a yes. He loves Chris Cornell.
Like we did with Prince. If you said it was Prince and then all of the iterations of bands that he's been with, that's a pretty easy in. Chris Cornell was in several really good bands. But to me, if I'm saying it's Chris Cornell and he's in, then Soundgarden goes with him. But I don't think just Soundgarden goes in.
Who would you say has more or deserves to be in more, them or Alice in Chains?
That's rough, dude. They're really, really similar. I'd have to look it up.
So, but you would say either both or neither in, right?
Right. I don't know that the individual bands stack up and make it.
So they're a no then?
No.
A no from me.
I would have voted yes, but
I love them, but they're a no.
Steely Dan.
Yes.
now, Bob, you've already used your exemption.
I know, and I regret it.
You like Steely Dan more than you like REM?
I do, but I got burned my exemption.
Yeah, the
So
problem was that REM was probably getting in, but you burned your exemptions.
We were all going to vote for REM, man.
Dang it.
You know what, Bob?
I was going to vote for America, but then Scott said exemption.
You know what? I'm going to say yes to Steely Dan also, Bob, if you want to say yes.
Very nice.
I'll take that ride with you. You just need to
Make my
convince
mom
one more
mad, but I don't
person.
think Steely Dan goes either.
I don't want to give us any static, but
no static at all.
no static at all. FM, I'll say yes.
Whoa, you got
Very
three.
nice.
Boom, there you go.
It shocks you.
It shocks you. It shocks you.
Scott, would you have said yes to Steely Dan?
I would have said yes to Steely Dan.
He would have made it in easily
Well,
anyway.
it's just me then. I'm the only
That's
one.
for you, the old gray
So
wolf.
Gary, is it
I'm the old gray
because
wolf.
Gary? Do you think they just don't have enough, or do you just not like them?
No. I like them. I grew up with them. This is one of my mom's favorite bands, but I just don't. I'm looking at the list right now. I just don't see.
Fair enough.
Let's see. Knights in Satan's Service.
Yes, Kiss has to count.
Yeah, I think just as far as an American and iconic, and yeah, absolutely.
They're huge.
Yeah, they're great.
Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper was a band before it was a person, and that's when they got their start.
And he invented shock rock.
He did. I mean, so many bands have copied him over the years, it's not even funny.
I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I'm with Junior. I love Alice Cooper. He's a trailblazer, but not quite enough, man.
Right. Yeah, he's not hitting it out of the park immediately, so, you know.
Although I love his 80s stuff.
Feed My Frankenstein.
Poison and The Man Behind the Mask.
And is he more of a solo artist or a band?
It's kind of a both.
That's the thing is that he was a band first, then he drifted into the solo artist.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
The Cars.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
A lot of hits.
Yeah.
I love the Cars too.
When you hear Bob say a lot of hits, what he's really saying is a lot of songs I've heard.
That he liked. I like the Cars. I would say yes to the Cars.
I'm a yes.
Yeah.
Blondie.
See, I think of that more as a solo act.
They had the same band, but no.
Boy, I love.
I would put
Debbie
the Ramones
Harry.
in before Blondie.
Yeah, so would I.
I can't.
Years ago, she and Penn Jillette were living together. At the time, he and Teller were working on a magic trick where the world's largest cards. So he was learning how to drive a forklift so he could shuffle the cards. And he came home one night to their apartment and he is just filthy, you know, because he's been driving a forklift all day. And he, according to him, Debbie Harry looked at him and said, you know, if I had wanted to F a guy who drives a forklift all the day, I wouldn't have become a rock star.
So Blondie's a no. Cheap Trick.
The dream police, they live inside of my bed. The dream police, they come to me in my head. The dream police, they're going to arrest me now. Oh no!
I want you to want. I want you to want.
Again, Bob is sad he used his exemption already. 80s Cheap Trick is probably better than 70s.
Live at Budokan, right?
I love them, man, but I would not put them on the list.
I agree.
I mean, I've got a ton of Cheap Trick up there in my collection just in vinyl. You know, they were probably, you know, when we were talking, Bob, Cheap Trick was probably like 4th or 5th on the list of how many pieces I have by them, you know?
Oh, yeah,
Definitely, I've got a ton of their stuff, but I don't know if I would go into the greatest bands.
I want them to be there, but I can't put them there.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to say no.
Joan Jett and the Black Hearts.
No.
No.
Joan Jett has more than Pat Benatar, so.
No, she doesn't.
I mean, she has a couple of iconic songs, but no, I would not call that.
Like I said about Joan Jett, she's got about 5, but those 5 are really good.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 5 sounds about right.
Alice in Chains.
Gary, now's your chance to convince us.
There are a lot of bands that I really, really like that aren't going to make this list. You know, if I could put Soundgarden and Alice in Chains together, it's a no-brainer, but we're not.
Alice in Chains was the best of the Seattle grunge bands.
I'll give you that, but them and Soundgarden were easily my favorites out of the group. Like, I like Nirvana. I like a lot of the stuff that came out of that era in that area, but they're just not big enough. They weren't long enough. It's just not enough.
Stevie Ray Vaughan and Double Trouble.
Yes.
Local exemption, I guess.
One of the greatest guitar players of all time, you dang.
Yeah, but not a long enough run.
Not a long enough run.
I'm with Junior, man. I love Stevie Ray Vaughan, but you can't count him.
I can't.
No, you can vote for him.
You can vote for him, yeah.
Bob instantly put in REM without talking to anybody.
He has an
That's a good
exemption.
point.
Do you want to use it, Gary?
Use it,
Let's see how the rest of the voting shakes out.
He's
Jesse?
in. He's in. Screw
There you
Bob.
Okay, cool. There you go. That's it. All right.
All right, exemption.
Enough
used.
said. Yes.
Noted. The Temptations.
The Temptations. That is.
I kind of feel like we should leave them out just because we don't have all of the R&B and soul acts.
Yeah.
on here.
OJ,
If we had included other bands like similar, but
I think that the Temptations we're seeing here on this list as being a crossover as far as the rock pop R&B world is. Now, I'm not going to argue, they don't need to be there. There's a couple of other bands now that I'm seeing that I think will also be that way, but we can just take them one at a time, which I think is probably the best bet.
there's not enough rock songs in their catalog to count them.
Well, I'm not too proud to beg, so they get my vote. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go. All right. I'm a yes. Not enough to use an exception, though.
You don't want to burn your coach's challenge in the first quarter.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, I had a big panic red flag throw earlier.
You did.
Bob threw his red flag on top of a yellow flag.
Temptations, no.
Green Day.
No,
There are no.
closer than you think.
They do have a lot,
Closer than I
but
think.
not enough.
This is not the times of your life.
Jesse says good riddance to Green Day off the list.
A bunch of American idiots.
This whole list is dookie.
Dookie's a good one.
Sticks.
I'm going to say yes.
If
I
we
love
didn't
Styx.
do Kansas, if we didn't do,
Yeah,
you know what?
Sticks.
Way more than
Sticks
You know
is
what?
disqualified for having lyrics in Japanese.
This is my exemption. I am using my exemption on Styx.
Okay. All right.
Only for Mr.
Are you?
Only
You
for Mr.
chastised me
Roboto.
for using it on Stevie Ray Vaughan, and you're going to use yours on Sticks.
Yeah, I would put Stevie Ray Vaughan in before
Shock
Sticks.
jock.
I can't deny Mr. Roboto entrance into this list.
Oh, yes, you can.
You know,
It's a
your
bit.
biggest fan is Adam Sandler and Big Daddy.
And he taught me that Styx was one of the greatest American rock bands. And they only got a bad rap because most critics are cynical assholes.
All right.
Love Sticks.
Sticks is in.
Blue Oyster Cult.
Got any Blue Oyster Cult?
No, I don't have any Blue Oyster Cult. I ate 34 pairs last time around. Where were you? I was that close to working at 7-Eleven, you know.
No.
No, we don't got any Blue Oyster Cult.
And that's going to get edited in.
No. Don't fear the Reaper.
I could have used a little more cowbell.
Yeah, I would vote no.
I love Godzilla. But no.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I would
Again,
count Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I mean, they're not a rock band.
They're
But
not, but if we have them on the list, I would count them. Them and the Commodores are probably the two biggest American crossover soul R&B acts to the like.
You're so sure about that? You didn't read all the plaques in Memphis Junior.
I love Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I don't consider them a rock band.
2 for Earth, Wind, and Fire, Jefferson and Brother.
When are those Earth, Wind, and Fire tickets coming in? Earth, Wind, and Fire? Jeez, I haven't heard anything, but the minute I do, I'll let you know. So, I'm planning on taking my little brother with me. Is that your little brother? He's a good-looking kid. Great. Charles Jefferson for Earth, Wind, and Fire, and little brother.
They were in the rock and roll movie Sgt. Pepper.
The one with the Bee Gees?
Yep.
Yeah, and they're not a rock band either.
Got
Yeah,
to get
and
you
they're not a
into
rock
my
band
life.
Yeah,
got
Bruce
to get
Jenner.
you. I'm gonna vote no. If we aren't doing the Temptations, we're not gonna do Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Jefferson is going to be upset about this, Gary. His little
I
brother.
already made the Jefferson joke. Move on.
The Velvet Underground.
No.
No.
Smashing Pumpkins.
The world is a vampire.
Ha! Hee! Ho!
Well, I want to say
I'm a
yes,
no.
but
I like a lot of their music. Heard some of it today. No.
Yeah, I'm going to say no.
Maybe the first and certainly one of the funniest memes I've ever seen to this day is the picture of the rat in the cage that has the Post-it on it that just says, "Despite all my rage" on it.
The Smashing Pumpkins are not in. Mamas and the Papas.
No. I mean, it's certainly a lot of hits, but I would say no. I think they need to leave on a jet plane.
I like the Mamas and the Papas, but again, I don't really consider them a rock band.
Bon Jovi.
Yes.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
going to
yes.
say yes.
Dude,
We're not the
somebody in
Touchdown
from
Brothers.
New Jersey.
No.
Right! Love it! Living on the prayer.
They don't make music like that anymore, do they?
No, they don't. There it is for the fourth time this hour. Living on a Prayer by Bon Jovi.
How many bands came from New Jersey? Let's see. John Cafferty and the Beaver Brown Band.
Eddie and the
Southside
Cruisers,
Johnny. So, yeah.
Plus, John Cafferty did all the Rocky soundtracks.
I went down a rabbit hole with John Cafferty.
Rocky
On
4
the
is
dark
chock
side.
full
On the
of
Rocky
John
shows.
Cafferty. So are we saying yes to Bon Jovi? I would say yes.
I'm saying no.
I would probably put Bon Jovi in because I think that they're probably as iconic in the 90s and the 2000s as a lot of bands were for the 70s and 80s, you know.
And the late 80s. They were there for that run too.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi to me is like 88 to like 94 or 95. And then after that, it's just there was a song that was on a soundtrack that was popular and there was a this and there was. But seriously, after that burst of about 6 or 7 years, there wasn't much.
So I'm going to vote for no because I want Bruce not to be crowded.
I don't know.
All right, so no Bon Jovi.
Motley Crue.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
Scorpion.
Scorpions are German, but
Yeah.
Put those together.
Motley
no.
Crue, I would count.
Yes.
Motley Crue?
I would say yes to Motley Crue.
See, now they would be similar to me. Now they had a little bit longer run, but they were like Bon Jovi. They're a bigger version.
Three Dog Night.
No.
Boy,
Greatest cover band ever.
sure as I'm
But
sitting
no.
here,
They sang other people's songs. They're really good at it, but no.
I'm going to say no.
I'm a big no on that dog.
Okay.
No.
Grand Funk Railroad.
Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I know you get to like it if you give it a chance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion.
Were they all Americans?
Yes. My first favorite band ever, but I'm not counting them.
Yeah,
Yes. Didn't you buy their CD out of the clearance aisle or their?
No, the
Their
record. My dad wouldn't let me buy brand new records when I was a little kid, but they had a used record section for $0.25, and I got like 3 Grand Funk Railroads for 75 cents.
Yeah, there's a couple of songs, and I loved their version of Locomotive when I was in high school, but I'm going to say no.
That was a great roller skating rink song, man.
Weezer.
What's with these homies dissing my girl? Why do they got a front?
No.
No,
They're
I don't
good.
think so.
B-52s.
No.
But really good.
Great bands, Bob. Not stuff that you like.
Right. That's
They
why I
have-
said no.
I like
no.
their 4 songs, but
Yeah, I
not
mean,
enough.
Yeah, 4?
Love Shack isn't enough.
Now
so.
Cumby's really mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking all of his karaoke hits away.
He does a really good fake Fred Schneider, though.
The White Stripes.
No.
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 Junior heard white and was already saying no before you finished.
Yeah.
Stone Temple Pilots.
Well, they could have been, but no.
They weren't around long enough, I don't think.
Not enough. Heroin did it, but
Coulda, shoulda. REO Speedwagon.
No.
No,
Keep
I don't think so.
REO Speed Dealer, yes.
What's that?
REO Speed Dealer, yes.
Yes.
Not Speedwagon. I love REO Speedwagon, but
Okay.
I can't vote in
Do
good
you-
conscience.
Scott, do you remember them? REO Speed Dealer?
Yes, I do.
Great name.
Black Crows.
No.
No.
No, I wouldn't.
Too bad, I like them, but no.
Offspring.
I like Offspring, but
They've got to be on a different. You've got to keep them separated from this list.
I like when Crawdad Man from the League sings their song.
The crawdad man. Every day is a hard day down by the river. I gotta go get my buckets and fill my buckets up with them crawdad. I gotta keep them separated. You gonna keep them separated. They're gonna eat themselves. They're gonna eat themselves.
And he does the hand movements.
Keep 'em
Gotta
separated.
You gotta keep them separated.
Tool.
That would
No.
depend on the
We're gonna rage up Matt Molina
That's
by
all
not
right. He
including
can
them.
get mad. They're not one of the great American bands.
9 Inch Nails.
I want to say yes. I love Nine
I don't
Inch
think they have
Nails.
Not
enough.
enough.
I would say no.
I say
Not
no.
enough.
They have like 10 at least solid hits, right?
Not enough.
They've got one. That was that one by Johnny Cash.
I hurt myself.
No,
Bob's theme song.
Closer was a massive hit. They had a bunch of stuff that was good. It's just not enough.
Head Like a Hole.
There's a lot of really good ones, but it's not enough. They're not even close.
Sylvester and the Family Stone.
Denton's Own.
Now, I would actually count them as a rock band as opposed to like Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Temptations, but I don't think they have enough.
No.
They don't.
Huey Lewis and the New.
I like Huey Lewis in the News, but
No, I'm gonna say no.
They were huge for a couple years. They were massive.
And
But
They were. I mean, they kind of ruled the world there for about a year or so.
yeah, sport.
Couple of years.
You like Huey Lewis in the News?
They're okay.
Their early work was a little too new wave for my taste. But when Sports came out in '83, I think they really came into their own.
Big Brother and the Holding Company.
AKA Janis Joplin.
Yeah,
Yes.
I don't think so.
Not enough. Not
Nope.
enough.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not enough. Rage Against the Machine.
boy, I love Rage, but that's one that's not enough. And a lot of it's probably because of the lead singer. They've taken hiatuses and whatnot. If we did this 20 years from now and they came back and made 3 or 4 more albums, maybe, but they don't have enough.
I'm going to vote yes because Tom Morello toured with the E Street Band. So that's enough for me. You know? So
I'm with Gary. They're greatness, but not quite enough.
Yeah, I love Rage Against the Machine, but not a long enough run.
Buddy Holly and the Crickets.
Yes.
Practically invented rock and roll.
They were one of the first. And so, yes, I would definitely put that.
And, you know, you got to wonder where they would be if...
Every day, it's getting stronger. Every day, it's getting stronger.
All my love, all my kissing. You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's you, me, oh boy.
Oh boy.
All my love, all my kissing. You don't know what you've been missing, oh boy.
Oh boy.
It's you, me, oh boy.
Oh boy.
Peggy Sue.
Ever see that?
Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue. Peggy Sue.
Ever see that?
Peggy Sue. Junior, who else was on that plane that Buddy Holly and La Bamba crashed in?
The Big Bopper.
Hello, baby.
Hello, baby.
Talk about a one-bit pony.
Yes.
Paul Revere and the Raiders.
Paul.
Paul in what?
I
They
don't
were a
think
bit band.
They had like 3 songs.
And they were all
They had
on the
like 3
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood soundtrack.
The Everly Brothers.
No, but they're greatness.
Nope.
Yeah, I don't think
Yeah,
of
I
them
wouldn't
as a
give it to them
band.
Dave Matthews Band.
No. Chris would say yes.
Chris
but-
would say yes, but I'm going to say no.
Now, Bob,
I back you in my bag.
See what I mean? There he is.
See it,
All right,
Sam.
close the door. And isn't Dave Matthews South African anyway?
Dave
the Lovins-
Matthews is from Johannesburg, South Africa.
Diplomatic community.
Okay.
Out.
Love and Spoonful.
I do not believe in magic. They are out.
Welcome back. No.
No. George Thorogood in The Destroyers.
No.
Boy. No.
Bad news for him.
Yep.
He would go drown his sorrows, though, right?
One bourbon, one
Bourbon, one
scotch, one
scotch of
beer.
beer.
And he'll
Yeah.
do it drinking alone.
I drink alone.
Frank Zappa and the Mothers.
No.
No, I mean,
But
Our heads
Even
on
if
that
you put Frank and Dweezil and Moon Unit together,
Oh my god!
right.
The Replacements.
I would count the Replacements, but that's a personal thing. I know they don't really deserve to be on the list, but I love the Replacements.
Right. It would be a personal thing for me as well. I would definitely put them on there. But
So Scott, you would have been a yes. Bob, you would have been a yes.
For reality, no. I wouldn't put them on the list like legit, but just for me personally, yeah.
War.
What is it good for?
They only had one song, right?
No, they had a lot of songs.
Lowrider.
Lowriders is the one I can think of.
Cisco Kid.
Yeah, Cisco Kid. Why can't we be friends? Me and maybe brother.
That's right. Okay, so
Slipping
I'll
in
give
the
you 3.
darkness.
I'll give you
There's so many.
Iggy
Okay.
Pop and the Stooges.
No.
No.
Stooges are awesome,
Okay.
but no.
only the first 3.
Jimi Hendrix and the Experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
Not a long run.
Here's the thing. So Jimi Hendrix by himself counts, but the 2 guys in the Experience were British.
Oh no, were they?
Yeah, Mitch
didn't even
Mitchell
think
and
about
Noel Redding.
Yeah, see, the reason
Oh, okay,
I look
so
at
let's
this
just-
the same way I looked at when we talked about Prince earlier, and if you could even do it with Bruce Springsteen, there's always a band behind him. The thing that you remember about it is Prince. The thing you remember is Bruce. The thing you remember is Jimi Hendrix. Jimmy was that band.
I would vote Hendrix.
I'm going to say yes to Hendrix.
Yes to Jimmy.
Linkin Park.
No.
No,
I love
Fair
Linkin Park,
AF.
but
I do too, but no.
no.
Slayer.
I like Slayer, but
No. I was a fan of Slayer in the late 80s, but they don't belong on this list.
Do they have more than Anthrax?
no, Anthrax has
is
more.
better.
But Slayer
Speaking
is
of Anthrax,
Did you know that the singer of Anthrax is married to Meatloaf's daughter?
I did not know that.
Isn't that weird?
Did Meatloaf end up having a kid with that chick from Paradise by the Dashboard Light?
We're gonna go all the way tonight. We're gonna go all the way in tonight. We're gonna go all the way tonight. We're gonna go all the way in tonight.
Slayer's a no. Anthrax, are they a no?
Yeah, they're no.
Yeah, I'd say no.
Megadeth.
Hello, me. Meet the real me. In my misfits way of life. A dark black past is my most valued possession.
For a long time, I loved Megadeth way more than Metallica.
Yeah, Megadeth is basically Metallica light.
Well, I mean, it's a former Metallica.
All Dave
member,
Mustaine up.
just a lot more political.
So no to Megadeth, no to Anthrax.
Yeah.
Corn?
You said corn? No.
Korn.
I love Korn,
Okay.
but no.
All the
Topic
ones you've
band.
mentioned recently, Korn's probably the closest to being there, but no.
The Black Keys. The Steve Miller Band.
Ooh, yeah, I would have thought it'd been higher too. And yeah,
I would definitely above a lot of the names that you just said.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Birds, but like for the 70s. If we were saying greatest 70s American band, Steve Miller would be on the list.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Abracadabra, but no.
I heat up. I can't cool
Nailing it.
Got me spinning.
Okay, that's it.
Big
That's
old
it.
round
jet
and
airline.
round.
I heat up. Can't cool.
Nailing it.
Got me spinning.
Okay, that's it.
Big
That's
old
it.
round
jet
and
airline.
round.
I'm like big old jet airliner. Big old jet airliner.
Don't carry me too far away.
End of the list.
My math could be wrong, but I think I count 27. Scott, were you keeping
Scott's
track?
counting too.
As Scott counts, here's a bit of trivia for you. You know how every year when you graduate high school, they'll do things like your senior class will pick their senior class song and things like that. And it's almost always, that song is almost always a song that's really, really popular at the time. The class before me in Lake Dallas High School, so we're talking about graduation 1989, Jet Airliner was their class song. That song's from 1977.
Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, 1989, and their class song was Jet Airliner. I think just because they're all potheads.
Yeah, that's
I got
funny.
27 as well.
Okay.
All right,
All right.
so 27.
Okay, I have
Bob.
to say this because Bob took 26, and my bit lately has been taking one over whoever had that number, and I didn't
would've
do
nailed
it.
Bob wins the showcase showdown.
Yeah, very nice. And that close, dude. That's
We should
pretty
have
good.
granted Bob more exemptions because he had like
Yeah,
3
if I
or
had
4 other
given him
bands.
three
Well,
more exemptions, I would have gotten it.
Yeah, very nice. Good topic. Very good topic. What was interesting, right, is I was kind of doing some research. I'm like, oh, well, the Pretenders, European, and then the band. It's like, oh, that's Canadian. Good stuff. Junior, if someone wants to give us feedback, how can they?
They can reach out to us at How Many Podcast on Twitter. You can email us, howmanypodcasts@gmail.com. You can listen to all of our back catalog at howmanypodcast.com as well. We have a YouTube channel, Facebook page, lots of different ways to get a hold of us. You can reach me directly, Mexican_Junior on Twitter.
So you can get me on the Twitter. What is it? Scott_Matula. You guys know better than me.
Just your name.
It's been about 4 years and he still has to confirm with us. What is it again? Like,
Yeah, Scott_Matula.
Lukewarm tall boy. Twitter, Instagram, you name it.
At travel_cowboy on Twitter.
Jesse?
And I am at Jesse Jackson DFW on Twitter. And we appreciate all the downloads and the likes. And give us some feedback and let us know who we forgot. And all the hate mail about the doors you can send to my attention. But for now, thank you guys. Stay safe. Remember to social distance. Wash your hands. Wear an effing mask. And we'll talk to you soon.
Well,